So we're headed south on Moark Road. We're almost to the end of Moark Road, so we'll be coming up on Timber Shoals Ranch. If you look off, I guess to the west, you can see the lake through the trees there. We're at the north end of a large private peninsula. You can see the red gates. So we're at the end of Moark Road. The red gates are the neighbor's house, and we actually go to the left onto the gravel easement road. Now as we look to the east, directly into the sun, you can see that pasture there. And if you look at the maps and whatnot, that's if you kind of stick to the right edge of that field, that'll take you to that trail that goes to State Line Cove, which is a good place that we've used anyway. It's been a good place to put a pontoon or a couple jet skis in the water. It's a really primitive trail once you get close to it, but if you're in a truck, you should be fine. So looking off, this is the closest neighbor. Gentleman and his wife live out here, retired. Super nice. And he's got that great view. He's cleared out some of the timber beside his house, and that's opened up his view to the lake. This is the meadow where we often see deer. Very often. We've seen as many as 40 deer in this meadow. And we'll see turkey as well. I mean, you'll see deer and turkey everywhere out here on this private peninsula. There's his house. And I like to show that because it does show a little bit that you can see from here of that stellar lake view. I mean, when you get closer to the house, just the way the land is situated on this west side of the peninsula, you get the possibility for that unbelievable lake view. It's pretty early in the morning, so we've got the sun kind of coming down right at us here. Very early springtime. We have just a few leaves out on the trees. The cedar trees obviously already have their needles or whatnot. And we're going to pull up just past this building where we come to the Y in the road. So we're right here where the road splits, where the road forks after that barn, and we're actually going to go straight or veer to the right, if you want to put it that way. And we're not too far from the property, actually. We have had a ton of rain out here, so this road does look a little sloppy. I mean, you definitely do want a truck or an SUV out here, because if we have had bad weather or a lot of rain, it can definitely be a little rough. Part of the charm of Timber Shoals Ranch. Although this section, I believe, will be smoothed out, but still, if we get bad weather, you might not know what kind of shape this is driving out here. But if you're in a truck or an SUV, of course, you'll be fine. Ideally four-wheel drive, but also just that clearance. If I put this in four-wheel drive, I'll let you know, but I'm just in two-wheel drive right now. There's another Y in the road, and we stayed to the right. Let's see, gotta look at my map and see where we are. Okay, so from where we are, on the right side of the road, that's tract 50, so we're actually really close. We're going to look at tract 51. So that should be just a couple hundred feet on the right. There should be a sign up in the trees when we get up there. The guys generally try to put them roughly in the middle of the road frontage. And my MapRite map shows me that we're actually just got to the property and it's on the right. But we're going to keep going until we see that sign. Oh, and there's the sign right there, actually. So it's on a cedar tree that the woodpeckers have had some fun with. There are hundreds of woodpecker holes in that. That's actually kind of cool. I think what I'll do is I'll drive up a little further to the, maybe to the end of the road frontage, so we can just see how that looks. And then we'll stop and look around a little bit. We do have some ruts in this section of the road as well, by the way. But I see all kinds of good timber on the property. I don't have a topo map with me today, but looking at the property, well, all the stuff on the west side here, these nice tracks, they slope down as you move toward the lake. So let's hop out and have a look at this. So now as we look to the north, that's the property on the left side. And it appears to be basically all wooded. We've got oak, we've got cedar trees, some good mature timber. It's actually a nice mix of hardwood and cedar trees, or this section up by the road is. If these trees were cleared out, we'd be looking at the lake already. But with these thick trees, it's a little hard to see the water. As I've mentioned in previous videos, once the property's been paid for in full, you're welcome to clear the timber or log it or cut it for firewood, but that's after it's been paid for in full. Until then, you can't cut trees with a stump diameter of greater than 8 inches. But we do make written exceptions for building sites and driveways and potentially for views. So you just have to come in and mark the trees using like a marking ribbon from the hunting section at Walmart. The orange ribbon, mark the trees you'd like to remove. And then when we have a guy out here in the area, we'll have him take a look and hopefully give you written permission for that. So now this area is more of a limestone. We've got a large flat limestone rock with some cedar trees. I can see little bits of the lake through those trees. I mean, check out the drone video though to see. I mean, this is potentially one of the best lake view properties you'll find, but it would have to have some of that timber cleared out. It's pretty early on a Saturday and I can hear several boats already. I can just see little glimpses of the lake. If I was about 10 feet in the air, we'd be staring at the lake. I'm tempted to climb a tree, actually. I don't think I will. I think I'll just do the drone video, and you can take a look at it that way. But yeah, I mean, a ton of potential. These Lakeview tracts that directly border the Corps of Engineer land are really hard to find. You've got some nice mature cedar trees out here. With a little work and a little clearing, you could have just a park-like building site. Very pretty. Let's walk back up toward the road. At Timber Shoals Ranch here, I mean, you have a couple different access points. This property directly borders the Corps of Engineer land. So were I to continue walking to the west, we would actually get right to the water, although I believe there's a fairly steep drop there. We'll know more when we do the drone video, but I think the thing that provides these tracks with the view that they have is that it does drop down fairly steeply to the lake as you get close. So this does directly border the Corps of Engineer line, so you've got access over that right to the water. I doubt you'd ever get a boat in from this property, but there are a couple other nearby places. If we keep going, for instance, on this easement road, that'll bring you down to the Sandy Beach area that you'll probably see in the listing. And also there's State Line Cove, which is about half a mile to the north. Early springtime here, so we have just a few leaves starting to come out. In a couple more weeks, when these big oaks leaf out, it'll be just a gorgeous sea of green. So back to the easement road. As we look to the south, that's the land on the right. And then, of course, as we look to the north, that's the land on the left. Beautiful, beautiful area out here. So private. We see deer and turkey practically every time we're out here. So they definitely inhabit this private peninsula. Just has a great secluded feel out here. So check us out at InstantAcres.com. If the property is available, then you'll see it there on our website. Feel free to call us in the office or just send us an email at sales@InstantAcres.com. We get very few properties with direct frontage on the Corps of Engineer line. And the potential for the views on this one is just off the charts. So, special property, InstantAcres.com.